to the African Renaissance TV. This is the Sustainability Track, a program that brings you sustainable and innovative solutions to the very many problems of our society, with the next generation in mind, as well as being environmentally prudent and conscious. Today, our topic of discussion is a fascinating one: sustainable pageantry. This is something that we are going to look into to understand the nitty-gritties of the pageantry industry here in the Gambia. To have a conversation around this, I have a very special person, one of my favorite persons within this country as far as the Gambia is concerned. Someone that has gone through the thick and thin to prove himself in an industry that is female dominated, someone that has gone through thick and thin to have himself crowned as a king in the industry. This is someone that I call the macho man of the pageantry industry here in the Gambia. To begin our conversation, join me in welcoming Mr. Abou Jabbie onto the show. And thank you for coming on to the Sustainability Track. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vibaji. Like you rightly mentioned, I am Abou Jabbie, and I am the creative director of British Promotion. I'm a pageant coach, and I am also a model management. I am the winner of Mr. Gambia 2020, and also I was the head of production for Miss Gambia 2022, and also head of productions for the Face of ETG for 4 years now, and so like so many pageants in the Gambia.
Mr. Jabbie, so that is quite an interesting head of responsibilities, the things that you hold, but that is quite going well for you. But before we can comment on the discussion, one thing that I wanted to know is there has been a lot of themes, if you like to call it, amongst fashion, pageantry, and modeling. Most people don't tend to understand or distinguish between or among these three. You may want to take us through pageantry to be specific.
Well, pageantry is a special thing to me. So I have been into pageantry for almost a decade now. The art in general, because I was one inspired by my grandfather, who was an actor and also who was a keen follower of the industry. So when I was a kid, I used to watch fashion shows and also Miss World, Miss Universe. So I started to fall in love with the art of pageantry. Then by then I was a kid, so I wasn't serious about it. So the difference between like pageantry itself is it's a broad phenomenon. Like it is an inspiration to so many people, and also it is something that so many people learn from. Like for example, let's talk about international pageantry, for example. Queens and kings are termed as ambassadors because they advocate for issues affecting people and also issues that are well connected with our lives and livelihoods. So it has been an inspiration to so many people, and as of now, the Gambia, we are also trying to modify the way pageantry is in now, and also we are trying to enhance the production of pageantry in the Gambia, to the fact that because so many people have a misconception to it. Fashion is fashion. Although pageant is part of fashion, but it is quite different. Modeling is also different from pageantry. Modeling is the art of you wearing clothes of designers and showcasing it, doing catwalks and stuff. But pageantry, there are so many components in it. You have the cultural part of it. You also have the platform part of it, where you come up with topics, issues that are affecting people in your country or in the world at large. You also have the question and answer session, where they test your intelligence. You also have the elegance part of it. That is the fashion part of it, where you do the card walking, and also where you dress into creative or very beautiful clothes. Also, to me, I don't believe in beauty in it. To me, it is more of brains, and one word that I am very passionate about is the confidently beautiful with the heart. As a beauty queen, it is not just about the beauty, but also the heart. Whether the heart can accommodate people, whether the heart can be relevant enough to do humanitarian services, whether the heart can can be impactful. So to me, the beauty is just a pinch in it, but the brains and also the heart, which is very important.
That's quite important. I mean, it's that extensive, like you said, looking at fashion, looking at modeling, and then pageantry. It's quite important. But like today, we try as much as possible to stay on track as far as pageantry is concerned.
Exactly.
So that is important. And I know you did mention quite a bit of where you get your inspiration from, but I want us to expand on this a bit. Looking at you as a person to say, if you're doing a backtrack of you to say Abou Jabbie, who had been a commercial student at the high school level,
yes,
coming from a society that would tend to believe that pageantry is associated with more of a females than male. What was the turning point that you realized that you had fallen in love with pageantry, or you had something like a thing for pageantry? That inspiration.
It was hell for me, to be frank. You know, when I finished grade 9, I wanted to do art, which my grandfather really supported me towards. But some of my family members were like, no, you should not do art. You should be doing science or commerce. I cried that day. So when I did commerce, I didn't like it, but I had to do it. But at least everybody knew the love that I have for art. From the newspaper I held to some of the activities that I was engaged in. So after finishing my grade 12, I came out with very good results, although I didn't like the commerce field. But I was like, okay, now I am man enough to decide on my own. So I decided to venture into the art field. You know, I decided to really venture into art field because I started coaching people, like say from 2013. I coach a lot of beauty queens and kings in the Gambia. At least 90% of the queens pass through me. Yeah, that is something that I have done, literally. So I started doing that, which I encountered some problems with my family, because you know how Jahanka tribe is. They are like, no, pageant is basically you going out showing off your body and stuff like that, because that is the misconception that they have. So I was, with all the difficulties, I was trying to really push forward so that I can see to it that the pageant industry in the Gambia will go. So in 2020, after the COVID, like during the COVID-19, I saw the flyer of the Mr. Gambia, which I have coached so many people towards the pageant. So I was like, okay, me falling in love with pageantry, how about me trying to compete in the pageant?
Instead of just
coaching people, let me give a try. Because you win plots of lands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So me coaching them, even sometimes to say even a thank you is a problem. So I was like, okay, let me give a try. So I went to my grandmother and told her. She was like, never, because you are from a family that is well respected. And you know, I fought through it. I tried my level best. I spoke to some family members, but some supported, some didn't support. But I even took the risk of going out of the house for 1 week to prepare myself because of the trauma that I was going through, you know. And I was having also pressure because you're coaching people to go and win, and now you're competing. It's pressure alone.
Teacher going to see 40 exams.
Exactly. That pressure alone was too much, you know. So I was like, what if I don't win? That was the case. So I tried, and I also succeeded in convincing my my grandmother, and she accepted, and she gave me her blessings. So I went to Mr. Gambia. I came, I saw, and I conquered.
Wow! And you returned a king.
Yes, I am the second crown king of Mr. Gambia.
That's quite amazing. That journey alone could have been like 1,000 miles that you had to go through. But I want to look at it. I want to deviate a bit from that. Looking at pageantry, you've been one. If you've taken part in it, I want to look at the impact aspect of it. Well, you would be a witness that pageantry, sometimes you will see people talking, taking on platforms, talking about things in advocacy, things related to education, related to the environment, related to human rights. How does that impact the greater society?
Well, to me, that is the most important part of it. The elegance part, the Q&A part, and everything is just a minor thing. But the platform part, where you impact people, that is the most important part of it. Beauty queens or kings use so many topics of discussions, ranging from health, economic factors, environmental factors, religious factors. So, to me, when you're reading your platform, there is something like there is someone in that hall who you must inspire. That's by force. There is someone who is going through that, or someone who knows someone who is going through that. So it is very impactful. Very impactful in a case that you can easily change someone's life through that. And also, coming out of that, you can also be an ambassador to so many institutions or so many organizations, like UN organizations or government organizations, because you are advocating on something that they are doing. So you can be a brand ambassador to them and also impact even other people that are not even in your area, but in the provinces
beyond
also.
Like
beyond that, the community
is expanded.
It is
beyond
expanded beyond that. So the impact is just wide, broad. And also another impact is that you tend to meet so many important people. So many important people. Like when I won, after that, I met so many government officials who tendered their support towards my journey. And also, one success that I can say that I did was there was someone in the hall when I was reading the platform is a victim of that transitional justice. The dad was a victim of the transitional justice. So that emotions that I brought that day was just mind blowing. And when I got that I will not like say any names, but when I got the support from that from some of the individuals that wanted to support me, I went straight to their family and also give my support towards that, because that was the platform that I was advocating for, So the impact is too much.
I know we can
spend a whole day.
People talk about different things using their platforms, and these are not those advocacies that you do within those events or those competitions. You can expand beyond competitions. That's quite important. But to move on to that, I want us to look into a bit the evolution of pageantry, if you would like to call it. If you want to compare pageantry, let's say from the last 2 decades till with 2022 or 2023 today, what is the gap? What difference can you say there?
A lot of difference. Like when Ami Faye was crowned Miss Gambia in year 2000, and when Hadiatou Glorious Njai was crowned Miss Gambia in 2022, it's a huge difference. Yeah, but then to me the impact was not there that much, because what they really center on is the beauty and how you comport yourself and the background that you're from and stuff like that, Although they also look into brains, but to me the beauty overshadowed everything. And the Gambia was not also really known in the international stage. Although they represent the Gambia internationally, but they do not perform very well compared to now. But now it is more of advocacy. Pageantry is more of advocacy. Now, to me, they really tend to prioritize more on their platforms than even their talents and stuff, because they know if they win, that is the topic of discussion that they are going to venture in. So it is a lot of difference. And by then, you don't tend to win huge prizes and stuff like that. But now, a queen can win up to $300,000, plots of lands, a brand new car, and a lot of valuable gifts. So to me, it has evolved, and the evolution, the greatest part of it is that now queens are confidently beautiful with a heart, trying to advocate on their projects, and also beauty with a purpose projects, which they go into communities to now they're even launching their foundations that are really helping children or even women that are vulnerable and stuff like that.
That still goes along to talk about the impact that
exactly.
That's quite important.
Yeah.
But not to cut you short from that. when you're looking at that impact aspect of it, as an individual, as a contestant, being a boy or a girl or a woman or a lady, whatever you might want to call it, taking part in a pageantry competition or contest, what would you need as a person? If I am Mohammed, I want to be a contestant. What do I need as an individual?
Well, the first thing you need to me is self-confidence. Without self-confidence, you cannot go anywhere. Your self-esteem should be reached to an extent that you should be fearless, because you will hear so many things by force. Because the society that we came from is some people are very toxic. So you will hear so many negative comments towards what you are doing. And stuff like that. You know how our elders sometimes react to it. But if you have self-confidence, you will conquer so many things along your way. The other thing that you need is a good mentorship. You should try and have some people who are well experienced and well diverse in your topic of discussion that can mentor you. You know, the presentation, that you can have the stuff and stuff like that, but if you can't present it, that will be a problem. So your public speaking skills should be good, and also you should have someone that will mentor you towards that. The other one also is you should be very, very talented. Yes, you should be very talented. You should come up with creative ideas that nobody has seen before. Like, you should stand out. For me, that is what I advocate for every time. When you're going for a pageant, stand out. If you stand out, there is no way that you're not going to win.
You only stand a chance of
yes.
If you
exactly, if you think out of the box, that is the time that you can even stand more chance to win. Like for me, for example, when I was embarking on my competition, for props alone, not costume, the props, I spent like thousands of dollars for props alone because I wanted to stand out.
With a lot of investment.
But the investment also has to come up with the love that you have for what you're doing. If you're like, okay, man, like, Jarud may invest because of this and this and this. To be like, you don't love what you're doing. Me, I went to compete because it was because of the love I have for it. And I was also coaching people. So I was like, okay, let me go and experience and see what they really go through.
That's quite important. Not to cut short from that. We've just been alerted that time is something, but it's about time that we take our first break. But before we go on to that, like you said, creativity, thinking outside of the box, and being confident in yourself these are key things that we really need. And then the love for what you do.
Yeah.
But I want us to look into some of the challenges that we've faced. The pageantry industry will face in the Gambia. But before we can do this, we'll take a short commercial break. From there, we can keep on the discussion.
Yeah.
From that short commercial, from wherever special you are watching this from, this is the Sustainability Track with me, Mohammed Dibai. If you have not subscribed into our channels, you can subscribe into our channels to get the latest and the trending episodes from the Sustainability Track and other programs from the African Renaissance TV. Our discussion is based on the sustainable pageantry. To have a conversation around this, I have Mr. Abou Jabbie, who is helping me form a conversation around this fascinating topic. Mr. Jabbie, like we were talking before the break, I did say we intend to talk about the challenges that pageantry has. The industry is facing, not just individuals, but the industry as a whole. I'm sure there are lots of things to talk about, but we want to talk about the key amongst them. What are some of those challenges?
Well, to me, one of the most challenging is the societal challenge. Like how society perceive what pageantry is,
Again,
because
societal concept.
yeah, the societal concept, because they tend to conceptualize pageantry as something that is indecent, like something that you just go out and show your beauty and also be naked on stage and stuff like that. But that is not it. To me, pageantry is you going to impact other lives, impacting your lives and also impacting other people's lives.
In the society.
Yeah, the societal concept is one of the most difficult challenge that we face. Some of the challenges also is centered on finance, the financial challenge. Some of the companies do not tend to support pageantry in the Gambia, which they should, because to me, investing in it is changing so many people's lives. In like especially NGOs and like government institutions should be even people who will be in the forefront of supporting pageantry, but the support is very minimal. Sometimes even to organize a pageant, you will empty your bank account to see to it that the contestant and the people are happy. You will not even have a profit in return, but you are still doing what you love doing. That is the case. So these are some of the main challenges that we face. Yeah.
And that's quite important. I mean, we come in from a society, and then the society's support to any cause, any profession, as far as industry, as industries generally are concerned, is an important part. And this is, like you said, sometimes there exist misconceptions towards most of the courses that we do in life, but we can help in translating this into positive things by having conversations like this. So those are quite important. But before we can go into, let's say, the solutions, I want to have a further question on the challenges. You as a person, at an individual level, when you were contesting, what was that big challenge you faced aside societal constraints and the financial constraints? Do you have like challenges as far as the organization is concerned?
No, I didn't have challenges based on that. Although I can say another big challenge that I faced was the time factor, because it was my final semester at the university. Had to have to do that with also my preparations, and also have to run family errands too. So that was also a big factor towards my journey. So sometimes you will just do something because you love it, but the time factor is really a problem. The time factor is always a problem, but just go for something that you love, then you're good to.
That's quite important. Well, what are some of the possible solutions that we can look into as like all the stakeholders within the four corners of the Gambia? What do we need to do?
Investment. That is it. South Africa, I'll give an example to South Africa. Miss South Africa is the biggest pageant in Africa and one of the biggest pageants in the world. Top 10 pageants in the world, it is Miss South Africa. The stakeholders invested a lot of money into that pageant. And now, how is it? South Africans are winning Miss Universe, they are winning Miss World, they are winning Miss Grand, Miss Art. They are winning. So, to me, as a country, we should invest not only in pageantry, but the performing arts industry in general, because pageantry is part of the performing arts industry. So to me, the stakeholders should invest a lot of time and resources towards it. And trust me, they will not regret it, because the impact that pageantry has now is mind-blowing. And also, pageantry will also boost the tourism of the country, because when you win Miss Gambia, for example, you will be representing the Gambia to Miss World or Miss Universe. So that alone can boost the tourism of this country, and also that will also sell out Destination Gambia. That is how we say it. So they should invest. Investment is the key now. Let them invest their monies in it, and trust me, it will be on another level.
That's quite important. I mean, and it's going to be an interesting one to look into. Looking at, like you said, how it has evolved from the last few decades till date.
Yeah.
There are positive things that we can always look back onto, and then looking ahead into the future, those things are important. But I want to ask this further question, as far as that is concerned. looking at the world here today, one of the prominent words that are mostly used, and in the Gambia, one of the household terms would be sustainability.
Sustainability.
And that is to say people must be conscious of our environment. People must be conscious of the generations
to come.
How do you think pageantry can help in this through their advocacies? Could this be one of the roles that pageantry can play in the Gambia?
Well, there is a pageant called Miss Environment Gambia. A sister of mine, Kadi Samete, is organizing it. So they did a collaboration with the National Environment Agency to organize that so that they can advocate on environmental issues like climate change, global warming, and stuff like that. So to me, pageantry can solve those problems, because you are an ambassador. You are standing on stage trying to send a message. You sending that message can stop someone from cutting down trees, can stop some people from littering, can stop people from doing some harmful effects that can, that can really cause a havoc to the environment. So to me, yes, pageantry could be one of the right answers for that.
That's quite important. But I would not make do justice without before ending this interview here, which are talking about this promotion.
Yes.
An integral name as far as the Gambia is concerned in the fashion world, in the pageantry aspect of life here. How crucial and influential has it been as far as pageantry is concerned in the Gambia?
Well, Bidis Promotion is the biggest pageant organizer in the Gambia. That is a fact. I'll give kudos to my boss, the CEO, Edabidwal Mansari. He has been an integral part of our lives. He has given us opportunities that nobody has ever done. He is fighting and keeps on fighting for the lives and livelihoods of young people in the Gambia, especially in the pageant industry. Ida has created a lot of minds and also has created a lot of opportunities for young people, both national and international. So Bidis Promotion, to me, it is the biggest pageant organizer in the Gambia, and also impacting and still making waves in the pageant world, because we have sent in so many representatives to go and represent the Gambia outside. Mariam Cham is one of the first Gambian queens to win a title internationally. She won the Miss Elegance at the Miss Globe competition. People like Laura Tukamara also represented us at the Miss Africa Universities and came out at the top 10. Kadi Samate represented us at the Miss Globe competition and Miss Glam competition, and also won Miss Personality and was also part of the top 15 out of the world. So Majula Juve also went to the Miss Freedom of the World and also was crowned the winner of Miss Freedom of the World Africa, the whole of Africa, and so many other queens that we have impacted their lives. So Bidis Promotion to me is the powerhouse, the royal family of Gambian pageantry in the Gambia.
That's quite an important for the CEO and the whole team that is behind that. And you as a person, you're also an integral member of that team, which is a proud thing to say. Yeah. It's an important. But before we end this, so we would like to say, what word of advice, if you would like to call it, recommendations that would you have for not just the viewers, but all the stakeholders as far as the Gambia is concerned in terms of pageantry?
One of the word of advice that I have to give is to create up space. Creating up space for young people who want to venture into the pageant field. Because if you don't create up space, they will tend to do it the wrong way. Like doing some things that they don't love, whilst they have something that if they do, they can really fit in. So creating up space, like the parents, the guardians, and also the society at large, they really need to know and understand the importance of pageantry and try to dive away from the misconceptions that people have from it. So if they do that, I guess the sustainability part will be ideal. The other advice that I have is for the stakeholders and also for the government at large, especially for the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, because it is their mandate to support that area. So to me, they are doing very well. They are doing extremely well. But to me, they really need to fast track. They really need to invest on pageantry in the Gambia. They really need to engage the how do I call it? They really need to engage the suitable stakeholders towards that field, so
They
that
should be able to bring on board
exactly. Yeah, they also need to support people who need to who wants to study on these areas like performing arts, creative arts, and stuff like that, so that they can come back and invest in this country. Pageantry is not an exception. So these are things that the stakeholders should really do, so that our industry will not only be the best in Africa, but also we can also be winning Miss World and Miss Universe like I have ever dreamed.
Well, that's quite a big dream, and both in as much as there is life and we strive as a people, there is those dreams are bound to come true someday.
Yeah.
And like you said, with the numerous challenges that the art industry generally is facing, and specifically the pageantry and field face, there is still impact being spread all over the country,
Exactly.
spread all over the lives of not just young people, but even the greater society. And we can do a lot together by coming together as stakeholders from both governments and NGOs and individuals and the societies together. Those are really important remarks from me, and we are really glad to having had you here on the Sustainability Track.
Thank you.
The whole team from the camera crew, from DJ Jaju to the assistant camera person here, Mohammed Mustafa Sediba. We are saying a big thank you to you for coming on to the Sustainability
And the attire guy too.
And yes, you are the attire guy too. So that is a big thank you to the attire guy. You know yourself. We are saying we are grateful to your attire. I hope everyone knows what is attire outside of this country, but it's an important part. We would love to see you and the whole industry excel and go forward as far as taking art and pageantry in the Gambia to the next level.
Thank you so much.
That was all that we have for you here on the Sustainability Track. Stay tuned for more interesting episodes coming your way from the Sustainability Track and very many interesting programs of the African Renaissance TV. African Renaissance TV is open to partnerships and collaborations, as well as documentary works, if you would like to put it. You can always reach out to our marketing teams. A link and contacts would always be shared on the screen that you can always reach out to us. But until we come your way with all those interesting avenues, this has been the Sustainability Track, and I am Mohammed B. Baji.